Hi everyone, I'm Nancy.
And I'm Stephanie.
And if you enjoy our show, please like and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell.
We're also on Instagram at TWiN, and you can also find us on X.
Twitter X.
We've got a great show today because we have a guest. We wanted to bring in a credentialed person who has been in the photography industry for over 40 years.
Wow.
Basically the top of his game. Okay, guys, we want to talk about all this Photoshop controversy that's going on with Meghan and Archie's christening photo, and a comment that Meghan's mouthpiece, one of her Sussex squatties, Meghan Harriman, the photographer, he's only been a photographer since 2016 when Meghan came in.
Meghan's henchman.
Exactly. He basically had a little hissy fit today on Twitter and Instagram. Yes. He flipped out. Now, unfortunately, Meghan did not make a video like he did last time. So that was a little disappointing. I was really wanting to see the face.
Yeah, it's like he learned his lesson.
It's almost like he did learn his lesson. But he was angry nonetheless. Yes. Yesterday, the photo of Archie's christening, you know, that big photo, and we're not going to get into that photo today in this episode. Today, we are only talking with our expert, and later then we'll get into the christening photos. We have all the christening photos and why we think those are photoshopped.
Resting Dollface did a great job.
Great job today. Mole's been on point today. Everybody's been on point today. I feel like we really came together as a community. Yeah, it was very beautiful.
I was thinking this morning when I was reading Resting Dollface and Sue's, Meghan's Mole, and of course Jen from Real Housewives, all that stuff.
Body language guy was there too.
Well, no, I was thinking of that scene in the Avengers when the girls got together. Do you know what I mean? I like that scene. I feel like we could all pop our heads on each person.
Yeah, no, everybody was just like, you know, because this whole Princess Catherine, it's not her in the video. What's going on? TMZ is now doing a special on it. Yeah. This is getting so out of hand and stupid. You guys, she said in December she was getting surgery and you weren't going to see her until Easter.
Yep.
Why is that so difficult?
Let it go. Let it go.
So what happened yesterday was, I think it was the Daily Mail. They came out and said that the christening photo had been altered.
Yes.
And so Meghan did not like this. The person who took the photo basically said that's not true, Chris Allerton. And Meghan wrote this today. I just spoken to Chris Allerton. Getty Images should never have put that editor's note on the image. I am sure Getty Images will make a statement about this in due course. More importantly, the newspapers should have spoken to him, and Getty should be 100% sure before publishing what has now become a global non-story about his work. He's a great photographer who doesn't deserve any of this. Please leave this man alone.
Leave this man alone. Yeah. Well, why don't you leave the woman alone? How about you stop doing that? Because you and your little circus, you guys are the ones that started this.
Yes.
And now we're finishing it.
Exactly. I immediately think of Meghan's work. I mean, who can forget the...
Can you call it work?
Exactly. Who can forget the baby announcement, whatever that was?
Betty.
With the oak tree or whatever. Oh, no, not the oak tree. It's jacaranda tree in the background. Who can forget this? But what always stuck in my mind more than anything was that One Young World Summit picture of Meghan in the red.
Yes.
I have lost sleep over this photo. It has haunted me, you guys. It is so photoshopped in so many ways. And I can sit here and I can pick it apart. Stephanie can pick it apart. But that's why we wanted to bring on an expert. That way we have concrete proof that what Meghan is saying is BS. He's not a real photographer, and he constantly manipulates his photos of Harry and Meghan. So I wrote on X to Meghan. Well, I was hoping this would get to Meghan because he's blocked me. But I said, I will donate $1,000 to the charity of his choice if he can prove he didn't manipulate this pic, including Harry's expression and head. Show me this was the original raw file. I'll wait. Meghan's mole then came on. And she goes, I will add another $1,000.
And in a sign of solidarity, I too would like to offer up $1,000 if someone can prove that was not altered.
That is so nice of you. Are you serious?
Yeah, $1,000.
Wow, so we're up to $3,000.
You know what? And for
Masson.
you, 1,001.
Thank you.
1,001.
So we're at $3,001, Masson. Come and take it. Now the charity cannot be Archwell.
Nope.
But some people,
it has to be a legit one.
Some people were actually concerned. They were like, Nancy, that could go to animals. And I was like, guys, I have a feeling I'm going to win this bet.
Yeah.
So we have an expert on today. We are lucky enough to have an expert. Let's bring him on. He's been waiting in the green room, patiently drinking coffee. Kirk Sidley.
So this is a joy and a delight, and I just want to say this before we start. The last in-person guest we had was the great Bruce McCullough from Kids in the Hall. I don't know if you know.
Bruce McCullough was here?
He was here in this kitchen.
Oh, yeah,
in this stool. And I just want to say,
he's a tremendous comedian.
Before we get started with you, he only allotted us 15 minutes. That's his scale. You know, is there a time limit with you?
For you guys, I'll extend it to maybe 17 or 18 minutes.
Thank you. You know, that's what I'm talking about.
Well,
a team player.
We have a lot to
So anyway, yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Okay,
I'd like
thanks
to help
for being on.
Any way I can help.
I'd like to verify your credentials, kind of like, you know, we're in a courtroom and they got to make sure the coroner has you know, the credentials before they start giving evidence. So you have been in the photo finishing industry for over 40 years. Correct?
52.
52 years.
I started in 1972.
Wow. Okay. Where did you go to school and what did you major in?
I went to Portland State University and I majored in business.
Okay.
Wow.
And
awesome.
When I got out of there, I went to work for King Size Photo.
And that checks out. I did check that out. Okay. So then what did you do after King Size?
Your mother and I started Picture Perfect in 1984.
Okay.
And that was camera business, selling cameras, and also 1 hour photo finishing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when film started going away back in the late 90s, we became a digital imaging company also.
Digital, okay.
So we became digital experts. Now, myself, I have been around digital imaging now for almost 30 years. And
you've been around, you've seen it all.
Exactly.
You've seen it all. Now you've had clients and you've had big, like you've had people come to you. Can you explain that?
I've been a professional witness in court cases that have, when people have manipulated a photo,
yes,
we could discern that it was a manipulated photo. So,
of course.
You know, so that wasn't the main part of our business, but I was just asked to be a technical witness many times.
Okay.
Usually it never even went to court because we could just say, well, this is ridiculous that, you know, like somebody hits a fence post and they move the fence post 20 feet, you know, so looks like the car hit the fence post, but it really didn't, because there's just a lot of things you can do with digital imaging.
This is a photo that Masson took of Meghan and Harry in 2022.
Well, you can tell immediately that it's a Photoshop print.
Dad, can you tell us why?
I can tell you. The number one thing, I mean, it's very obvious to somebody who works in this industry. Number one, if you look at Meghan's face up close and then you look at Harry's face up close, huge difference. And the reason the difference is Harry's head is as sharp as a tack, hers is fuzzy. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you're taking a photo and these people are standing together, both their faces should be just sharp as a tack like Harry's. Look at Harry's eyes.
Or fuzzy like hers.
Or like fuzzy like hers.
Yeah, I get it.
Now, that's one thing that just stands out like a sore thumb. Absolutely. And then if you look at her on the right there on her shoulder, you can see how fuzzy it is. Somebody photoshopped that because they didn't want her arms to be as upright or stocky or whatever it might be.
Oh yeah.
So you can tell that immediately if you look at it. So you have to really look at it to know what's going on here. Also, if you blow her eyes up, a lot of times one eye looks better than the other. So what a typical Photoshop thing is, they'll take one eye, they'll clone it into the other one. What they've done here, both her eyes are exactly the same.
Oh
shadow.
my goodness!
That's the same shadow.
I didn't even notice that.
See the dots in there?
Oh my god!
That's impossible too, because your eye is it's a mirror. Your eyes are mirrors.
Well, it's the flash. It's
flash.
virtually impossible. But the first thing you look for is in the photo there, you see the eye is actually the same pupil and everything. They moved it over because the other one didn't look quite right. So they moved it over. Another thing you can tell on if you blow up Meghan's lips, the top lip is basically fuzzy. The bottom part of the lip is sharp. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no way you can make on a normal photo, can you make the top of the lip fuzzy and the bottom of the lip
he almost made a heart shape, sort of accentuating.
What they did is they moved in. They probably put the bottom part in because the bottom part probably didn't look the way they wanted it to.
It wasn't as full.
No, not at all. And then you can also, if you look at earrings, you can also tell that one of the earrings is put in because the earring on the left side of the photo is not as sharp as the one on the right side.
This is absolutely fascinating. Fascinating.
And then another thing on her face is especially up towards the top there, you can see between her eyebrows, it suddenly becomes very light. What happened was it under a normal situation, the skin tone would just follow on there, but they put it up there to give her face more highlight.
Right.
Okay.
I got it.
You know, see, I get like Photoshop running things through filters, but I don't feel this. We can say this is Photoshop. I feel like he truly manipulated it to deceive people into thinking she has a lot. Like, let's take her torso. Let's look at her torso. She's my height.
Yeah.
I don't have that long a torso. So do you feel that maybe he elongated her a little bit? Because if you look down, Dad, I wanted you to look at her arm.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely what I think they did. Okay, I can't really prove this, but I think what they did is I think they took out part of the center of the photo on her body, and I think they cloned it together a little bit.
Okay.
You can tell that because the seam down the middle of her breast there is a little too sharp. Okay,
it's a little too perfect too.
Yeah, exactly. So
a little too perfect.
From that standpoint.
Now, Dad, if you know anything about Meghan, her clothes, they're constantly wrinkled and not perfect.
Yeah,
so that is a little
the blouse is perfect.
Like that should all be wrinkled right now.
It's all it is without. It's hard to tell, but it looks like a red flag. You know, pardon the pun. You know, red dress.
Oh yeah, right.
But you kind of get the feeling that she, the head doesn't look quite right for the body. And then they moved the shoulders down on both sides for whatever. They were probably a little bit stocky at the end.
But now, Dad, if you were on the stand right now, and somebody was asking you, Mr. Sidley, do you think that these two people were standing next to each other at the time of this photo? In real time, what would you say?
I would say I don't think so because there might have been another one. I think he was put in there. All of him was put in there. Okay.
I believe that as well.
And what also bothers me is the lighting on the left arm there. No way that came from the flash. It came from another shot that they had of him from somewhere else, and they just moved him in there altogether. Now, the biggest things about the photoshopping is obviously the head. There's no way that one head would be sharp and the other one would not be sharp. Then the other part is the fact that if you blow up the left part of the photo below her earlobe and you blow it up, you can see all kinds of modeling, okay, which means that they cloned in the background
That's
there.
interesting.
They cloned in. You can see modeling below the earlobe there is just pronounced. And
I never trusted that background, Dad.
The other thing you look at the background too is the fact that it abruptly ends up here, okay? And why is it there? See, there's probably a beam or something that goes across there. They took it out because they cloned everything down towards her head. What he did on this photo was very amateurish, not very professional. Somebody who was really good at Photoshop could have made those eyes look different but you see it?
Yes, I do.
So I'm bringing up the picture that Meghan claimed he did not Photoshop at all.
Oh, I would have photoshopped it.
He is claiming that this picture was taken completely out of love and harmony.
Well, Dad, he's saying it was taken off an iPad during the pandemic because
people he wasn't there. So he was on a headset with someone, who knows, Doria, and he was able to click it from his loft in London while they were in Montecito under a jacaranda tree.
Completely unedited.
Yeah, and he really wants us to think that this was not edited. Dad, does Harry have that much hair?
Well, what's odd about it is her face is full of sunlight. They both have the same angle, and his has none. I just don't get it. And
his nose would have some.
And the sun, no, his sun goes all the way up to here.
Oh, that's
and
true.
Stops.
Yeah.
It stops over there. It's on the tree.
That's true, Dad.
God, see, I would not notice this stuff.
See, I always saw on the shirt, but I never saw the tree. And you're so right. That sun would have been hitting him in the
Dad,
face.
he is adamant that this was taken just like that. He is adamant he did not Photoshop.
Well, you know, I'm not going to call him a liar, but I'll tell you what, it wouldn't hold up in court.
Ooh,
interesting, Dad.
I mean, honestly, because you know, there's certain things you can play around with, and one thing you can't play around with is optics, and you can't. Well, it's mathematics.
Yeah,
it's just mathematics. Had to have had a guy with a big screen over them, just letting in the light to Meghan's face and to the tree.
Yep.
And then,
you know what he said? He said it was just their love, Dad.
They even have a little bit of light on his foot there, which doesn't make any sense. In fact,
so interesting.
Yeah.
I don't have that attention to detail because I know you actually have employed many Photoshop experts. You know what to look for is what I'm saying. Well,
I've had probably countless hours since year 2000, countless hours of education in Photoshop.
Yeah.
And when I was president of the Photo Marketing Association, I traveled the world. I talked to a lot of people at Adobe and other places, and I understand the process and I understand what it is. And it's very hard. It's very hard to beat it. You'd have to be a very, very, very talented artist not to have it show up. Blew these up when the girls asked me to check them out, and when you do that, you just absolutely can't miss. Being able to tell if it's been manipulated or not.
I mean,
look at those eyes. Look at those eyes.
Have you won awards in the field you're in? Because Meghan and Harry, they like to buy awards, but have you actually been given awards just because you've earned them, not bought them? Can you name any?
Well, I'm a member of. I was awarded the Photo Marketing Association Hall of Fame
worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay. So out of everybody in the world, you have been selected in the Hall of Fame.
And you were the president.
Well, there's probably 40 people in the Hall of Fame.
That's amazing.
And how many were in the actual membership? Like thousands?
It's in the world.
30 or 40,000.
Yeah. Wow. You've gotten various awards for IPI.
I've received. I was chairman of the Independent Photo Imagers, and I won several awards for excellence. Our company for excellence. So, and I want to tell you, I have no axe to grind against Meghan or Harry.
He didn't even know who Harry and Meghan were until we started this channel.
Yeah, but
I'm not kidding.
And I've examined this thing, and it's just my opinion based upon my technical
and that's
expertise.
All we wanted.
And but this is not even. I mean, this is not even something that people have tried to fool people with this type of stuff. This is not even close to being
so it's kind
borderline.
Of like
you
Masson did a half-assed job of even trying to fool people. Well, Masson and Meghan and Harry kind of think we're stupid.
Yeah. I suppose so. But see, the problem is that they don't think anybody's gonna challenge them on it. Who knows what they're doing?
They didn't know we'd get Kirk Sidley on the show. I mean, they didn't know.
I've enjoyed it.
This has just been a delight.
This was fun.
This was a lot of fun.
Because this is something I can share with my
Dad?
daughters.
Come back anytime.
Yes, Dad.
Okay, you have an open-ended invitation to come back.
It's not just Kids in the Hall.
I've enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
We don't just have members.
And my time is your time. I love my daughters.
Thanks, Dad.
And that's my My wife and I, our whole life.
Somebody got mad at me when we called you. You were down at your home in Henderson.
Yeah.
And I called you, and then they thought I hung up on you, and they didn't realize.
Can you just
didn't realize that how we're so close. We talk every 5 seconds. When I say, "Dad, okay, bye,"
during
and
a live,
during a live.
Oh no, yeah.
Is that was that insulting to you, or did you
Not
know?
At all.
Did you know you're going to hear from me in 45 minutes?
That never bothers me.
Do we text or do we actually physically call?
Usually physical before. That's it. That's better. Yeah. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been a delight. Thank you so much.
Don't forget your coffee. Coffee. Oh, that was so much fun. What a great guest. He's a trooper.
Yeah.
He's a trooper.
Yeah. And it gave us more than 15 minutes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good. It was better than Bruce McCullough's 15 minutes. Well, I mean, I'll tell you, I didn't like Bruce's attitude. And next time he requests to be on the show, I'm really just not going to answer the phone.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I will.
No.
Maybe I will.
Today's animal rescue, we got a good one. We had a suggestion from one of our friends on Twitter X. It's Alaska Raptor Center.
Nice.
This is really cool because when I was a teacher, I would have to go to the LA Zoo on field trips, and I'm very against zoos because the saddest thing for me is going to like the bird park and seeing them in the cages. It makes me really sad. So anytime we can help out a bird sanctuary and get them free flying and out in their natural habitat, and I'm all for that.
Some are dependent on people, and we appreciate the people that are the moms and the dads to these birds.
Yes.
Because a lot of some still need to be what is it called, bottle fed by their. Well,
that's what these people do.
That's what I'm saying. So I appreciate you guys.
Please go take a look at Alaska Raptor Center. Give them some love if you can, and if you can't, just share it with friends and family.
That's
talk
giving
about
love.
It. That's giving love too. Thank you for joining us. We will see you very, very
soon.
Love
you guys. Bye.